My name is Kendi. I'm 16 years old, and I live in Kahawa West, Nairobi. I've never told anyone this story, because every time I try, I feel cold all over, like something is still watching me. My parents were never perfect, but they were strong. My dad, Mwalimu Baraka, was a secondary school teacher. People respected him. My mom, Mama Doreen, ran a popular kiosk that sold tea, chapati, and boiled eggs near the stage. They laughed a lot, argued sometimes, but they were together, solid. That changed the day we visited a shrine in Mua Hills near Machakos. We were attending a cousin's wedding. After the event, an old uncle, Babu Kiptu, said we should go greet the ancestors at a nearby shrine. My dad didn't want to be rude, so we went. The shrine was hidden between two large fig trees. The path there was quiet. No birds, just wind. An old woman waited for us. She wore a faded kanga and had cowrie shells around her neck. She didn't say her name. She just nodded and told us to remove our shoes. My mum hesitated, but followed. Inside the shrine, there were dried gourds hanging from the ceiling. A pot of burning sage filled the room with heavy smoke. The woman told my parents to sit side by side and hold hands. Then she said, "Speak truth, or the ancestors will speak for you." My dad chuckled nervously. My mum stayed silent. The woman threw white powder into the fire. It sparked. Then she said, "There is something hidden between you." On the way back to Nairobi, my parents didn't talk. Dad kept staring out the window. Mum kept glancing at him like she was waiting for something. 3 days later, I heard them arguing in their bedroom. I pressed my ear to the wall. "You told me you ended it. It wasn't serious. It meant nothing." I felt sick. The next morning, Mum didn't greet Dad. She tied her kaitenj tighter than usual and left without breakfast. Dad sat in silence, chewing dry bread. Things got worse quickly. Doors started slamming. Plates broke. My father moved to the sitting room with a mattress. Then the dreams began. Mum started screaming in her sleep. She'd wake up sweating, saying, "They're watching." The woman in the fire. Her eyes are red. I was scared. Dad looked worse each day. His face had lines, like he hadn't slept in weeks. One day, I caught him burning a photo in the sink. When I asked why, he said, she saw it in her dream. Said if I don't destroy it, they'll come for me. 2 weeks after the shrine visit, my mum filed for divorce. No explanation. Just packed her things and moved out. She took me with her to my aunt's place in Donholm. Dad didn't stop her. He just stood by the gate with his arms crossed. I remember looking back and thinking, this is not my family anymore. But the scary part wasn't the divorce. It was what happened after. At night, in Auntie's house, I started seeing shadows. In corners, behind doors, I'd hear whispering, "My name, Kendi, Kendi." One night, I saw a woman at the end of my bed. She wore a torn kanga. Her eyes were empty. She whispered, the truth was buried. It must be returned. When I told my mum, she started crying. She said the woman came to her dreams too. That's when she confessed. Before the shrine visit, she had seen messages on my dad's phone from another woman. But instead of confronting him, she prayed the ancestors would show him shame. She had agreed to the shrine visit hoping it would expose him. She never meant for this. That night, everything changed. 2 months later, my dad visited us. He looked thinner, tired, but calm. He told Mum, "I see her too. In the fire, in the mirror, in my sleep." They both agreed to visit the shrine one last time. But when they reached the place, it was gone. The trees were still there, but no shrine. No woman, nothing. A small boy playing nearby told them That place burned years ago. My dad says it's cursed. They looked at each other, silent. They never spoke about it again. They never got back together. But slowly, the dream stopped. The whispers faded. Our lives moved on. I couldn't shake the memory of that woman in my room. One afternoon, I decided to return to the shrine site alone. Under the same fig trees, the land was bare. No smoke, no ash. But I found fresh footprints in the red soil, small, barefoot. As I followed them, I heard a woman humming. Quiet. So I crept forward and saw a small opening behind a bush. Rope and gourds hidden there. Someone had rebuilt part of the shrine. My heart pounded. I left without a word and ran home. I told Mum. She closed her eyes, shook her head. The shrine calls back those who wander its path, she whispered. It is not safe. That night, I made a decision. I would not be afraid. I would find the truth. The next day, at school in Kahawa West, a boy I barely knew, Juma, who always sat alone, approached me. He wore a threadbare kaitenj shirt despite the sun. He said quietly, "You want to break the curse? Meet me tonight at the river on Ongata Rongai Road." My palms went cold, but I nodded. That night, I walked with tired legs until I reached the shallow riverbank, under a street lamp. Juma stood there holding a small wooden box with cowrie shells carved on top. He passed it to me and said, "Open it. It helps people who are lost." I hesitated, but my curiosity was stronger. I opened it and felt a soft humming from inside. Cowrie shells did not shine like that. "Do not open it again," said Juma. "They will know you have it." Then he left without another word. My guide arrived and left me with more questions than answers. That night, I finally slept, but only in dreams. I was inside the shrine. The old woman from before painted my face with white clay, and I stood in a circle of ancestors wearing faded kongas and goatskin. They chanted in Kamba language, hands raised. Then my father appeared, wearing a tattered suit. His mouth moved, but no sound came out. He held the wooden box in his hands. A voice echoed, "Return what is not yours, or live between worlds." I woke up sweating. In the box now lay a tiny clay mask, matching what I had seen in the shrine. When I showed it to Mum, she went pale. "They marked you," she said. "You carry their gift." Over the next days, strange things followed me. I caught myself in mirrors, suddenly standing too close. Old people touched my arm and asked, "Are you sure you're well?" Then the mask moved. One morning it was in my school desk. Another night, on my pillow. At home, Dad's screams returned. One night he shouted a name I didn't know. Mum and I consulted Baba Kiptu, our wise uncle. He shook his head gravely and gave me a small bundle of ash and salt. "Wear this on your chest," he said. "It is the memory of the shrine. It holds both danger and promise." That night, I held the bundle, touched the mask, and crossed my arms like a guardian. I didn't dream, or maybe I didn't remember. But the next morning, the box was gone. The mask too. I asked Dad to come with me to the shrine site. This time as father and son. At midnight, we walked under a full moon, carrying just a lantern and the bundle of ash. We found the hidden opening behind the bushes. The shrine was there again, rebuilt. Inside was the old woman. She looked older, weaker. She whispered, "You've been marked by ancestors you did not know. Return the truth, and your family may heal." Mum's words came back. The woman in the fire. I stepped forward and placed the bundle on the central stone. It glowed softly. Then I spoke out loud. "We did not come for shame. We came to learn." I returned this mask and asked forgiveness. The woman nodded. The gourds rattled. The ash turned to dust. She touched my forehead. "The mark will fade," she said, "but what you carry inside will guide you." Her eyes glowed bright momentarily, and then the shrine faded away, along with the woman. When we walked home, dawn broke. Birds called again. The fig trees moved in a gentle breeze. At home, Dad hugged Mom and said, "I'm sorry. I lost my eyes in smoke." Mom cried. The next day, Dad returned the photo he burned and told me the truth he held inside for weeks. He stayed home. They did not fix everything. Divorce was too far gone, but they spoke again, respectfully. Me, I carried that memory of the shrine and the mask in my mind. Sometimes I touch my forehead, where the woman touched me, and feel a tickle or nothing. I don't know everything yet, but I do know, for African folktales, some truths aren't simple. Some are whispered in darkness, but meant to be shared in light. So here is where I stop. I wish I could say all the fear is gone. It's not, but I've learned this. When the shrine calls you back, it's not just to scare you. It's to remind you who you are and what you owe. I am Kendi Wamboe. I survived, and I will never stop listening for the voices in the smoke. If you're ready to explore the dark, mysterious, and powerful side of Africa, then please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss a tale that could change how you see the world.